Venice billed itself as the most serene republic, and here, in the palace of the Doge, the Venetian word for its elected ruler, the republic and its empire was governed. In an odd way, the founders of the American Republic were fascinated by the Venetian Republic, and there are some similarities between the two. Both republics accepted as perfectly natural human greed. Neither was filled with much spirit of mission or of ideology. That was why each republic made sure that it would never become a monarchy or a democracy. In this splendid room, the Great Council met. Every male Venetian of 25 or older, whose family was listed in the Book of Gold, was a member of the council. At one point, there were as many as 2,000 council members. The Great Council governed Venice. Basically, it elected not only the Doge, but all the other high officers of state. The council also chose from its own members a number of committees, the College, the Council of Ten, the Senate, and these committees governed the Republic and one another. At the time of the Doge's coronation, he was given a long list of those things that he could not do. The most important thing that he was not allowed to do was to govern Venice. The Venetian Republic was governed by the gentleman who sat to his left and the gentleman who sat to his right. The Doge himself was like a gilded icon. He was the state incarnate. The Venetian Doge and the American president have this in common. Each swore to uphold a constitution in which were built many checks and balances that would make it impossible legally for one man to overthrow the state or even to govern the state. So where the American president has his Senate, his House of Representatives, the Supreme Court, the Doge in his position had his Senate, his Council 10, and other committees who were in place with just one object: to keep the power of the state from falling into the hands of a tyrant. But even the most neatly balanced political system can become unbalanced by external enemies. When Constantinople fell to the Turks in 1453, the tide slowly began to turn. Venice and all Europe was threatened by this evil empire. Venice fought back. They relied on their fleet, on their wealth, on their cunning. Particularly cunning was their placement of strategic defense systems. Complex forts like these in Greece were built to protect the Venetian seas and the free world. The Christian world of Europe was endangered by the Muslim Turks. And for the next 2 centuries, there was war, at sea, on land, from one end of the eastern Mediterranean to the other. Back home, the PR boys went into high gear. Even the churches celebrated the far-flung empire with replicas of military bases, of victories at sea, of God's love for Venice. Christians first at last, Venetians second. But the Republic, not God, was obliged to fight the war. The Doge's palace was White House, Pentagon, State Department, CIA, all rolled into one beautiful, unfortified building. It is one of the eternal laws of government that the more money that you spend on intelligence and counterintelligence, the less you know about what's going on in the world. We have the CIA in America at Langley, Virginia, spending billions of dollars, and very often the American government does not know all of the things that it ought to know. In this one little room, 3 Venetian gentlemen, known as the 3 Inquisitors, were the directors of intelligence and counterintelligence, and the most serene republic was entirely well served by them, and they knew indeed what their enemies were up to. Intelligence is the key to just about everything. The more anyone knows, the better off he is. The more a state knows, particularly a small, beleaguered state, the better off it is. From all over the world, Venetian ambassadors sent home information, while Venetian spies ferreted out other countries' secrets, and Venetian agents took care of Venetian enemies.